Hey guys, what's going on? Megan here. Heading to the gym. Today's Wednesday, so figured I'd make a video on the way. This is why I don't fall behind schedule, because like I said, my inbox is full, and I want to keep the videos coming, because the questions are here. And also I appreciate you guys for voting. Keep voting, right? For the segments that you want to see. I'm looking at the results every day, and I'm gonna make decisions based on the results. So keep voting. If you haven't voted yet, the link is in the description always on every video. I'll put the link on every video. Just go ahead and vote for the segments that you want to see. Based on your specific needs. All right, now this video is in response to one of the questions I keep getting. Ever since I got back a few weeks ago, one of the questions, obviously, the motivation sector, right? And every time I see questions on that, like, it sparks that, that fire in me, because that's something I struggled with a lot when I was starting out, before the channel, before Team3D, before all of that. I struggled a lot with motivation, struggled a lot with getting that fire. It's kind of like, I understand where you guys are coming from, because this is what it feels like. You destined for something. You're capable of doing something big. You have that. It's somewhere in you, but you simply miss that spark. You're constantly looking for that catalyst is gonna just throw you into it. You go to bed at night saying, tomorrow is a wrap, tomorrow I'm gonna get started, I'm gonna start blah blah blah, and then the next day repeats itself. You wake up and you find an excuse, or you're back to square one. So I understand people like that. I know what it's like. I know what it's like to be empty, to have no sense of direction. That's why Team3D is dominance, discipline, direction, and I always say that direction is the most important of the three. I know what it's like to have no sense of direction, no sense of purpose. It's an empty fucking life. You could have all the video games in the world, you could have all the friends in the world, you could have all the sex in the world, you could have every single thing, but when you don't have that sense of purpose or direction, that feeling that your life is going somewhere, you always fucking depressed. You're always empty. I don't want to say depression, but you always empty. You're always like, fuck, man. And the world doesn't understand. This is why I like this thing we got going, because we understand each other. The world doesn't understand. They're always like, just go to school, just get a job, just do this, just do that. And they go home fucking empty, so it's like, that's not the answer. The answer is not to just join the rat race and just keep going with the flow. Nah, you're just gonna end up a consumer. The answer to all those problems, like I always say, is the lack of identity. In fact, the cause of all those problems, that depression, that feeling of emptiness, that feeling of my life is not going anywhere, that feeling of, oh, I need purpose or whatever, it's lack of identity. We simply don't know ourselves. That's the biggest, that's the root of almost all problems we face as men and women, is we don't know ourselves, we don't know our identities, so we look for meaning in everything, celebrities and famous people and whatever the world, whatever box the world throws us in. And that constant quest for purpose is really a constant quest for identity. We're really trying to figure out who the fuck we are, And how did I break out of it? Obviously, I'm still in the process. As long as I'm growing every day, I'm fine. But how did I get out of that hole? I'm an expert at getting out of fucking holes. I fell in so many holes throughout my life. It's a miracle that I'm alive now. So how do we come out of that hole? Is we simply gotta look within and ask those questions. And I'm gonna mention the 10 questions. I think these are the 10 most important questions you should ask yourself. 10 most important questions. That sounds good. 10 most important questions. Sounds like some Business Insider fucking article. But the top 10 questions that you should ask yourself, because obviously you guys know my story. I came out of these holes when I asked myself like hundreds of questions. I literally went to Excel and I wrote down everything you could think about. I just kept asking myself random questions. Who am I? What am I here for? All those things. And obviously I'm not gonna mention all those questions in the video, because it's too much. This thing took years. I'm gonna condense it to the top 10 questions that really fucking matter. Right? The top 10 questions that you should really ask yourself. And I ask myself this question every fucking morning. Every morning when I get up as part of my daily routine. Before I get off the fucking bed, I ask myself those 10 questions to make sure I'm back on point and I'm focused. I'm ready to tackle the world. If I don't, then I become sidetracked, and next thing you know, I'm doing some random shit that doesn't contribute to my goal. Remember, guys, it's not about doing things. It's not about, we have this weird belief that as long as you're doing something, no. You have to do the things that line up with your goal. So just because you got up today and you went to the gym doesn't mean you're being productive or you moving forward. No. You have to be moving towards your direction. If your goal is to be a pilot, but you're doing doctor shit, obviously you're moving forward in the doctor direction, not in the pilot direction. If your goal is to be a basketball player, but you I don't know, fucking playing rugby or some shit, then obviously, yeah, you might be getting some good exercising. To the outside world, it might look like you're moving forward, but really you're not, because your goal is to be a fucking basketball player. You know, we have to learn how to focus and how to put all our attention towards what matters. So anyway, back to those 10 fucking questions, because I have ADD and I'm always getting sidetracked. Damn, tangent ass nigga. So number one question is, right, I always start with this. Know your passion, right? Simple. That's the first question. Know your passion. What is your passion? Now, for each of those questions, give yourself at least 3 answers, right? Give yourself at least 3 answers for each question, and then go back later on and pick the dominant answer, right? So for passion, obviously we're passionate about a lot of things. Pick the top 3 things you're passionate about. And then out of those 3, pick the number 1, right? The one that sparks your dopamine the most. The one that you don't mind doing forever or reading about forever and ever and ever, right? What is your number 1 passion? So obviously answer 3, and then pick 1. By the way, pause this and get a fucking piece of paper, because this is important shit, man. Fucking save me out of depression. Alright, the second thing is obviously your obsession. What are you obsessed about? Now, what is different between the passion and obsession? You guys already know. Passion, something you're passionate about. You're like, I like this, I fuck with that. Obsession is, you know what I mean? It's like, I can't live without this. I'm always thinking about it. It's not, I'm not talking about sex, because I know we always fucking talk, you know, thinking about sex, but, you know, I mean, if it is, if you're trying to be a porn star or some shit, then it's probably different, but you know what I mean? Like, what is your number 1 obsession? It's usually one of the 3. Out of your passions, there's something in there that you insanely obsessed about. So write that down. If you don't know the answer, once again, write 3 answers and then pick the top 1. You have to know your obsession, people. That is people have repeated this over and over again. Your obsession is everything. I always say you would never be remembered for your passion. You would never be remembered for your passion. You would be remembered for your obsession. We don't know Michael Jordan because of his passion. We know Michael Jordan because of his fucking obsession. We don't know Michael Jackson because of his passions. Probably had a lot of different passions other than music. No, we know him because of his obsession. Every great person that ever lived, we don't even know the other things we're passionate about. We know them, we remember them for their obsession. Why? Because it is your obsession that will make you go overboard, that will make you work overtime without having somebody behind you telling you do this, do that. When you focus on what you're obsessed about, nobody has to tell you to get up and work. You're obsessed about this shit. So find out what your obsession is. That is the key. You can't get anywhere without knowing what you're obsessed about. Most of us don't even fucking know, you know. So anyway, that's the second question you have to answer. If this video stops me, I'm gonna be pissed. The third thing you have to ask yourself is, what is your vision, right? Because once you know your passion, you know your obsession. Well, obviously, you know you gotta do something with obsession. What is your vision? A lot of us don't have fucking vision. You know, you gotta have that. You know, if I ask you, you know, where do you see yourself in 5 years, 10 years, 20, 30 years? Where do you see yourself after you fucking dead? You know, how is the world gonna remember you? What is your legacy? So what is your vision of the world, of everything, right? Macro perspective. The world we live in forces us to think narrow. We just think of this week and tomorrow. I gotta pay rent, I gotta go to school, I gotta get a fucking house. But we don't think big fucking term. Think big. Because guess what? Chances are you probably won't even get there, but like we said, at least you be above what an average person is, right? Think big, think big. So what is your vision? If you don't have a vision, then what are you doing here? That's one thing I struggle with too, because I didn't have a fucking vision, man. I was just living life. You know, Monday I'm doing this, Tuesday I'm doing that, going to work, paying bills, taking classes, you know. You gotta have a vision. Keeps you narrow, keeps you focused. So look, mind you, the answer to each previous question helps you answer the next. So look at your passions, look at your obsession, right? And use that to develop a vision for your life and for the world around you. Once you develop the vision, develop a mission. Right, just like we learn in business, you know how you have a vision statement and a mission statement, right? A company like Apple has a vision statement, where they see themselves in the world, and they have a mission statement. You know, it's gonna help you accomplish your vision. So, what is your mission? Because, like I always tell people, man, if you're living for yourself in this world, you're screwed. You're screwed. You have to be able to provide value, not just for yourself, but for other people. So, what is your mission? What do you feel like you're on this planet for? Right? How are you gonna help the rest of the world, or how are you gonna mold the world into the vision that you have of it, you know? So discover what your mission is. You know, that's very important. You know, I don't care how long it takes you to do that, but please do that. That's what number is that? Number 4? All right, the 5th thing is, once you know your passion, your obsession, your vision, your mission, now, what is your greatest talent? Now, mind your talent, something that you just gifted at, right? What is your natural gift? I think I made a video about some of these topics, but try to find out. All of us, we have something that we could just do naturally. We're just good at it, shit, right? Naturally, we never had to work for it. We never had to practice it very much. We're just super good at it, and it's usually something that we don't even care about, right? we just do on the side, you know. So what is your talent? What is something that you just naturally gifted at? A lot of times it's something that will help you achieve those previous things that we mentioned, you know. We as humans, we always trying to, you know, try something else, you know, try to learn something else. But look within you. There's something that you can do that somebody else can't. One way to figure this out is, once again, if I put you in a room of 5 people, 5 randomly chosen people, right, and I tell you, hey, you got to make a bet. Name one thing that you could do better than those 5 people, even though you know nothing about them. What would your answer be if you had to guess? You know, so it has to be something that you know you're really, really, really good at, you know, naturally. Not something that you learn over time. That's coming up next. So write that down. What is your talent? What is your natural gift? You know, some people are just charismatic. Some people are athletic. Some people build muscle fast. Some people are funny as hell naturally. Whatever the fuck it is, right? Next thing is, ask yourself, what are your skills? What is your greatest skill? Mind you, for each of those questions, you want to pick the best out of the answers, right? So out of all your skills, what is your greatest skill? What skill, you know, out of all the things, now mind you, skill is something that you actually learn and developed over time. Out of all the skills you developed over time, what is the greatest one? Write that shit down, motherfucker. Write it down, right? Once again, if you can't figure it out, write down the top 3 and pick the best one. All right? Now, once you have that, you have your talent, you have your skill. Now, I want you to think of your audience, right? Hold on a second. Let me pause the video. Yeah, sorry guys, I had to park. So yeah, so what was I saying? Yeah, audience. Yeah, figure out what your audience is, because once again, like I said earlier, you can't make it in this world unless you know, if you're just serving yourself. You can't be self-serving. You have to cater to an audience. You have to help people. You know, I mean, you look at all the successful people; they're not doing it for themselves. You know, I mean, obviously, there's some kind of self-interest in there. But really, they give value to the world, you know. Back to the examples I mentioned, you know, the Jordans, the whatever, the musicians, the investors, all these guys, they help the world. You can't just help yourself. It's one of the mistakes that almost everybody I speak to, you know, make. I used to make that mistake too when I was younger. I just thought me. How do I? No. You have to think collectively. You know, we adapted and evolved on this planet as social beings. You have to look for, you know, the audience that you could cater to, that you could help. You know, you're never gonna accomplish your vision by yourself. It's impossible. I'm sorry. You know, as men, we hate to hear that because we like, oh, macho, he-man. But no, you have to help society as a whole. So look for an audience that, because really, like I always say, you have a gift, you have a talent, right? And I always tell people, reclaim your throne. I've been saying that forever. You know, well, what's a king and a throne? And no, people see a king as somebody who's just like, oh, I'm the boss, I'm the man. No, people get it wrong. You know, if you study history, really, a king was the leader of the tribe. It was somebody who helped the tribe grow. He provided direction, he provided vision and protection. Now over time it evolved into a fat guy sitting on a throne and giving out orders and collecting taxes, but that's not what it was in the beginning. You know, when I say reclaim your throne, I'm talking about, you know, that, you know, the seat that you use to bring about the vision that you had for people and for the world. You know, that thing that you specialize in, that gift of yours. So, you know, don't get it twisted. You know, there's no king without, you know, there's no tribe leader without a tribe. You know what I mean? So, and I know people are gonna say, oh, we can't all be kings. We can't all be, shut the fuck up. I hear people that say that shit. We can't all be kings. Everybody's a fucking king. It's just that people see kings as the one guy that's ruling everybody, and I keep saying that's not what it means. You know, if I could be the richest guy on the planet. If I go into the fucking desert and I'm lost, the little shepherd boy is gonna be my king. He's gonna be the one that's gonna lead me to find oasis, to find water. You know, if I'm sick and injured, then the village shaman or whoever knows the healing techniques and shit, that's my king. That's my leader. That's the person that's gonna bring me out of the situation I'm in. You know, stop seeing king as like somebody who's just a fucking boss and just commands everybody. No. You know, they're leaders. They're made to protect. It's just that we live in a fucked up world, you know, where, you know, the dictators and the kings of this world give this image. But anyway, so yeah, find the audience that you're going to cater to, that you're going to service, you know, the type of people that you connect with, the type of people that you relate with the most, you know. It's not about ruling over people, guys. It's about bringing out the best of people through the experiences that you accumulated, you know, through the gifts and the skills that you have. So know your audience. Know your audience. It's very, very fucking important. That's gonna force you to think outside of yourself for once, right? What number is that? I don't even fucking know anymore. But the next thing, I memorize it because I do it every fucking morning. The next thing after you know your audience is, and this one is so fucking crucial, right? You have to find the opportunity that connects you to your audience. What's the point of having the gift, the skill, the mission, the vision, all that stuff, the passion, the obsession, knowing the audience, but then there's no bridge, there's nothing to connect you guys. Look for a way, a channel that you could use to bring your gift to the world, or to the people that you want to service. What's the point of having the king? Let's say you have this king, he's made to help this kind of people, right? But this king is in Malaysia and then his audience is in fucking Zimbabwe or some shit. The key is here, the lock is here. There's no connection. So find the opportunity. Today we live, there's the internet. There's it could be somewhere in your house in a different country. Sometimes you just gotta move out of your comfort zone and find that medium. The opportunity to connect with the people. It's hot as hell, damn. The opportunity to connect with the audience that you're gonna serve. So look for that. Like I always say, man, like your value is really decided by your location. Where you are decides what you're worth. Like I said, take Michael Phelps out of water, he's a nobody, right? Without swimming pools, who's Michael Phelps? Without a basketball court, what is Michael Jordan? Without a stage, what is the greatest actor, right? Your location is everything, So find the opportunity that connects you to your audience. That should be about number 8. The last 2 things, right? Let's do with number 9, because I gotta go to the gym and wrap up this video. If it's too long, yeah, it is. I'll probably make a part 2. Matter of fact, no, let's finish this shit up. So number 9. Once you have your audience, the opportunity, I want you to know your competition. Know your competition. Why? Because your competition is going to give you a sense of motivation. It's going to give you a sense of purpose. And you could also learn from your competition. When I say competition, I don't mean, I'm looking for like a mentor. Somebody who achieved the goal that you're trying to achieve. Or somebody who's on the path. Not somebody who achieved that shit. It could be somebody who's alive. It could be somebody who's dead. Me, for instance, my competition are the great men of old. People that they're not even alive anymore. I feel like, to me, that's the standard. The greatest of the great, So look at something, a figure or a person that you could use as your competition to give you motivation every morning, to give you mentorship, because they've traveled that path already, and they could actually, you could actually learn from experiences, I learn from the greats. I feel like there's nobody that could use in my competition in this day and age. And that's not me being cocky, it's just that I don't like the way the world is heading. I can't look at anybody and say, hey, that's my role model. Nah, It's the great men of old that I look up to, because I feel like they've achieved a lot more with a lot less. Not saying I don't admire the men who are alive today. Obviously, there's a lot of people that I admire, but I look for mentorship in the great men of old. That's just a nerd in me, right? So find out who your competition is, right? Write down the top 3 people. Usually people that are dead, right? Unless your field is something that's relatively new, and you want to pick somebody who's alive or who's recent. But I fuck with the BC motherfuckers, But anyway, so yeah, have your competition. That's gonna give you motivation, mentorship, guidance. Most importantly, experience. So that's number 9. Number 10 will have to be your plan, right? Once you have all the top 9, I would say add it all up, and then come up with a plan. Come up with a plan that you're gonna use to put all of this together and get to your goal. Because a lot of us have pieces to this puzzle. All the questions that I just asked, a lot of us know certain answers, but we don't know how to put it together and act. We always stuck here over fucking analyzing. Put all this shit together, come up with a plan, and go about your business, right? I'm probably gonna make a follow up to this because it's way too long. I was supposed to finish this in 5 minutes. Plus, it's hot as hell in my car. I gotta go. I had to roll the windows up because it's too fucking loud. But come up with a plan. Write all this shit down. I just told you. Go back and watch this video again. Write it all up, sum it up, and come up with a plan. Come up with a plan on how you're gonna, now that you know your passion, you know your obsession, you know your mission, your vision, your audience, the opportunity, your skills, your talents, all that shit. Now put it all together into a plan and say, from now on, this is what I'm gonna do to get from point A to point B. Because now you're no longer asking for who am I or where am I going or whatever. You have a concise idea of your stats. It's kind of when you're playing an RPG game and the player's stats. It's a mage or it's a warrior. Its attack is 12. Its agility is this and that. You know your stats now. Now come up with a plan. One goal at a time. All right, guys. I hope that answers a lot of your questions. This thing is simple. I'm beating a dead horse. It's stuff that's not anything revolutionary. It's stuff that I learned from experience, from reading, from all these things. But it will change your fucking life. Because like I always say, the answer's within. It sounds corny as hell, but the answer's always within. We always looking for the answers outside. That's why we never fucking find them. That's why I put in my channel description. My goal is to light the spark that's inside every single person. The spark is inside. You just gotta light that bitch up, right? So I hope this video helps. I talk too fucking much. I'm out of here. Team 3D Alpha. Comment below if you got any more questions. And I wish you the best, guys. little segments. So go in the comment section and just vote. Vote on what you think is your most requested topic, and then obviously the one that has the most likes are the ones that are gonna prioritize. In case let's say